Thanks for deciding to be on my show.
Yeah.
A lot looks exactly the same as when I was last time. Oh my goodness, I absolutely love it. Hello everyone, and I want to introduce you to my good friend Marianne Olivo. I think she's my very first guest on the channel. If you don't count my very first vlog where we ran into some people, this is more official. So Marianne is an artist, and she has had a show at the Ross Library it's been up for 2 months.
Yep, 2 months.
And it's called Feed Your Soul, correct?
Correct.
And I feel like that theme, just along with Marianne's whole personality and disposition and her viewpoint towards art, really resonated with me and the journey of discovery. And I think it will with you also.
Thanks, Laura. That's
So,
sweet.
Marianne, I was trying to think of how long we've known each other.
Oh my
Do
gosh.
you remember what year we met?
I think my son was probably 6, and he's 22 now. So whatever the math is on that. Yeah.
For 15, 16 years, I guess.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about this, us being in Ross Library, is that it was Ross Library
Where we met, right?
where we met.
Yeah.
That brought us
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
I think I had first actually met you or saw you outside. There was an art program going
Yes.
on, and you had brought Evan to it.
Yep.
And
Probably.
you stood out because you had your long braids.
Off and on for the years I have either, yeah.
And you were very gregarious, and you seemed to know everybody. You knew the artist. I think it was a potter. She had brought her wheel, so the other kids could do pottery.
Oh my gosh, that is stretching the memory.
And then, whatever year it was, you became
Yeah,
the
the assistant upstairs. Yep.
children's librarian.
Yep. Yep.
And so we just kind of connected then.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
at some point, she has been the art teacher for my children. She's been an encourager for my older children, a cheerleader. So just tell the people a little bit about yourself as an artist and where this desire to produce art comes from, and your whole vision that art is for everybody.
Yeah, art is definitely for everybody. So the schooling that I had was through Penn State, and State College. I was there for 4 years, and painting and drawing. Before that, it's all I ever thought about doing in school or professionally. Once graduation happened, I've done all kinds of different jobs. All of them, I think, have built into where I am now with my art. So I learned lots of other skills, business and otherwise, along the way. I'm trying to keep this short-ish.
It doesn't have to be short. We've got all day.
Yeah, right. So I always said if I had a thesis when I was going through school, if I ever went back and went for my doctorate or had a thesis or something, it would just be to make art very approachable for everybody, to encourage everybody to practice it consistently. And I think for me that theme finally landed this year. It's always been a part of my life, either teaching or making small shows. I usually kept 1 or 2 shows a year for most of the time since graduation. It was like 2001, so that's a lot of shows over the years. But this year, my New Year's resolution was to paint a picture every single day. I had done this project one other year, and I called it a 365 Grateful project. And it just wasn't organized. So this year I decided to have all the images be the same size, to keep it consistent and easy for me. So I just started taking away all of the blocks that normally prevent me and somebody else from making art. Not enough time, it was too expensive, there wasn't enough space. And I just found this show a way to take away all those roadblocks to creativity. So that's how, and I just, the show hung itself kind of, the lunch bag format.
Yeah, where did this idea for the lunch bags come from?
I
I love this. I I saw this first on Facebook.
Yeah.
You have a Facebook?
I do.
Like,
I have a Facebook business page.
For a business page.
Right.
So we'll make sure to link that in the description below so you can follow Marianne's art.
Thank you. So if I'm going to be really honest, desperation, the night before I'm supposed to hang this show, I'm still figuring it out. And I'm saying, do I have large pieces of paper that I'm taping everything to? There's a hanging system here. So there's no nails allowed in the wall, no pins allowed in the wall, no tape. So I said, this practice feeds my soul. And I was having a discussion with, my partner, and he was just saying, what can we hang it on? And I said, well, can't I just use lunch bags? I need something dark.
Yeah.
And then we realized what I had said out loud.
Right.
And then it matched the theme and the name, and so it was just born from that. And then, the logistics of hanging it, kind of trial and error for a day or two, and figured it out.
Well, it's something that's so simple. Again, accessibility, you're saying, for
Accessibility.
everybody to do art. I mean, clothespins, lunch bag.
Yep.
Like the piece of paper you're using is the same. It's how
Same size.
4 by 6 or?
I think it's 3.5 by 5. I think I
3.5
had
by
like a 9 by, whatever size the little tablet was, and I cut it into 4 pieces. So it was really affordable. I've gone through 2 little sketchbooks all year.
And when you were first telling me about this project, you mentioned the time factor, which you mentioned, talk about people say they don't have time.
Yeah.
When I started this YouTube channel and started talking about wanting to get in touch with my inner artists and make a YouTube channel, but also writing as a way to express that.
Mm-hmm.
That had been something that had been with me for years, but I would say, I don't have time.
Yeah.
Everybody says they don't have time.
Everybody has
But
to.
you gave yourself a specific goal every day.
Right. So, and I just set a minimum of 15 minutes. And I thought to myself, if I cannot give myself 15 minutes to do something that I absolutely have wanted to do for years and that I love to do, I need to relook at how I am living life.
Yeah.
And so it ended up that I started just making a painting in the evening, which is sort of how I end my day now. And then the next morning I post it online, so I start my day with it. So it kind of has served twice the good by accident, because I finish it, last thing I do before bed, and then the first thing I do. So I start and end my day with art every day. And it's been completely life-changing.
Kind of like bookends your day.
Bookends the day, yeah.
I love that.
And it really has become like active meditation.
Mm-hmm.
I just sit down and say what wants to be painted today.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just wait and see what shows up.
Yeah.
And what idea do I have? A lot of these are just moments throughout my day. But sometimes I do get like this fuzzy kind of dreamlike image in front of me on the paper, and then I chase it down and it turns into something. So yeah. It's really fun. It's really fun, kind of like surprising me as well as everybody else. Yeah.
I love it. It just has made coming to Ross Library for the first time in 5 years an act of beauty. Like just seeing this, I feel so inspired, and just talking to you about bookending your day. Starting with sharing beauty into the world, which I try to do on my Facebook. I call it a dose of beauty.
Yeah, I've been following you. I'm
share
liking all your flowers. Yeah.
Share beauty out into the world, and then ending your day with actually just saying to the universe, the spirit, what have you, what wants to be produced today. It gave me chills just kind of repeating that, and then just being back here. I feel like a sense of healing. So
Oh, that's
I
wonderful.
was hoping it would.
Oh, that's
It would
wonderful.
bring that, and it has.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
but of course, being around you is very healing too. You just have a healing spirit about you.
Thank you. It's taken me, years to be grounded consistently through the day, and I feel like I'm really close to achieving that. Like during most of my days and all the tasks and everything, I stopped rushing. Huge change, and then it slows me down long enough to see these things in the world. A lot of these things that I may have missed if I was rushing.
Well, I want to take some time just to walk around with you, and maybe if you can think about 4 or 5 that really jump out at you, and then I'll show you one that jumped out at me. But before we walk away from being together, can you turn around and show everybody the back of your jacket, and then just tell us again about it. So see this, another local artist did this for Marianne.
Fabulously talented friend of mine, Ava Gonzalez. I can link her business information in the video as well. I have made a commitment to support other local artists, but also specifically with my clothing, to make a statement of like, let's make some of our own things again. And so she does an amazing job. She tailored it so that it actually fits, and then I encouraged her, because she's also a painter, to just have fun and make me interchangeable painted piece for my clothing. And I'm going to go forward and continue to have her design me some art pieces that I can wear around and have a really lot of fun with. So.
Which I love that, because oftentimes, not every single video do I make, but I will have an outfit of the day. And my people out there have heard me say many times that I'm against fast fashion. So I feel like when I saw this, and that you had it tailored and you had it made just, a beautiful piece of art is the antithesis of fast fashion.
Most of my things are,
again, bringing beauty into the world and speaking to you, and then you're sharing yourself even more with the world. You know what I mean?
It feels really good to be in a place that I can support some local people. I've been so supported over the years. A giant thank you for the decades of support that I have received. As I land on my feet and get grounded, and so it is absolutely thrilling to be able to give back and encourage some other younger artists to keep going and have fun with their vision and make it functional. And wearable art, that's my favorite thing now.
I love that wearable art. All right, so what like a couple, just a few.
Well, maybe without traveling, without traveling too far, I was gonna say maybe we could show the very beginning, and then choose a few from the middle, and then we'll go back and look at the beginning and the end. I feel like there has been a progression as far as, at first I think I was thinking too much, right? So you sit down and 15 minutes, So it took me a few weeks, maybe even a month, to kind of train myself to relax away from the watching the clock or putting pressure on what each piece, was going to be, and letting go of what the finished product looked like was so key in making the art every day. You can't put pressure on having a really polished piece in 15 minutes. You just have to enjoy the process, and then usually what turns up was pretty fun. So So I think particularly the colors.
So this is
these
number
were
one.
January. This is
Number
January
one.
1st of 2025.
So just to reiterate, every single day so far in 2025, she did one piece of art. So this was number one.
Number one. And I feel like the colors of the cold weather months at first were really telling that, I was cold. They were like kind of frosty and pastel, and almost translucent. They didn't have a lot of weight to them yet. So again, I feel like that was reflective of me learning the process, getting comfortable with the process, and just what was going on outside. You know, there isn't the vibrant colors that there are in the spring and the summer. So I think all those things were reflected in the first few. As we went down the line, you could say
they get a little brighter.
Yeah, I quickly started to incorporate kind of the dream things that I have about the summertime and what I love. So, you know, giving myself a little bit of time just to ruminate on the beach and the ocean and the turtles and the warm weather things was very helpful to my soul in the cold winter months. It gave a little bit of a reprieve. And so that's how some of those things
it
came
lifted
about.
you out.
And so one of the 7 new paintings every week is sometimes I would visit maybe once every 3 weeks and I would bring them with me. And it gave us something to do that was like this bright spot to talk about, and they would love to see the new images. So that has been really, really fun.
There's so many
themes. Yeah, there really is no consistent theme beyond.
Oh, this one I
trying to stay
remember
positive.
when you put this on Facebook, because it's a painting of a photograph of you
me,
as a little girl, and I thought, oh, it looks just like you as a little girl
Well,
with the curly hair.
Yeah, I had, you know, so I have moments that I just wanted to kind of reimagine the picture that was in. It was like a cold weather month. And I was like, well, what if I was 3 in that picture and I was in a big garden, you know? And so it was kind of fun to take myself out of the original context of the story and imagine my little self anywhere I want to be.
Yeah.
And there was like some healing to that. I think that could be really therapeutic. I'm going to look at that a little more, you know, intentionally. That kind of just happened by accident. I have an old Polaroid that sits on my art table. And when I said, oh, what's painted? Well, I don't know. And then I just saw that and I was like, I haven't done portraiture in a while, let's give it a try. So some of these took a little longer, obviously, than 15 minutes. If I get really into it and I have the time, you know, I might spend 40 minutes or something like that. So.
But it's like giving yourself that saying in 15
Yeah.
minutes is what gets you over that hump
Yes.
of saying,
Yeah.
I don't have the time,
Exactly.
right? Like if I feel like I
Right.
don't have the time to go to my garden or to write in
Yeah.
my journal or something, if I just say, I'm just gonna set the timer for 15
Right.
minutes.
And I did set a timer for a while. You know, sometimes if I am on, you know, a schedule where like I just need to go to bed early that night, I'll set a timer and I'll say, okay. And then in the morning, sometimes I have a few minutes and I touch things up and, you know, finish the idea. The words don't always come. Most of the words come in the morning when I have to like organize my thoughts to put it online, and it gives somebody a quip of like, well, where is this coming from? Okay.
These two, this shell.
Oh,
These shell and then this. I went to New York City with my son the summer before last, and we were up high in a hotel, and then we went up high in an art museum. I think it's called the New Museum or something.
Okay,
in,
I'm not
like,
familiar.
Down in southeast Manhattan. Anywho, we both agreed that wherever our eye would land would be on some green. So we would be like looking out at the city and find the green. So this one, that's what spoke to me, because you have the city, but then you've got the gigantic green tree.
Right.
I didn't get a chance to look over here.
Yeah, there's a hallway down there too.
Oh my gosh, it keeps going.
Yeah,
I didn't realize.
there's a whole row. And you know, this is kind of, some of these are really animated.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I thought ever since I was really young was, oh, I will illustrate children's books.
Yeah.
So these little moments are great practice for me. How to tell a story with 3 inches by 5 inches.
Yes.
Can you get an emotion across? Can you get a laugh out of it? You know, can you really intrigue and engage somebody's attention with something that's that small? And I feel like you can.
I feel like you can. You definitely can.
Yeah, and
you're gonna illustrate a children's book soon.
I think it's on the list. I get a lot of likes and things, but sometimes someone will be, and it's interesting the ones that people would comment on. You know, I got a lot of likes and things, but sometimes someone will be like, I really love that one. This is one of the ones. And that was the name. Like, where did the little one go? Like, I've lost my child. I don't have any technical official training as a watercolorist. I've never taken a class. Everything I do here is just Marianne's invented.
I'm surprised because you talk about watercoloring a lot.
I love it. Well, and that's one of the reasons it's accessible. You know, there is zero cleanup there. I actually use crayons and pencils and not the tubes. So I just find them to be incredibly accessible, and it's a familiar tool. So somebody that has not painted before, if you hand them a crayon or a pencil, they're much more likely to engage with the project because it's familiar.
Yes.
And so that's how I started with the watercolor. And so some of these things, I started watching videos online of traditional watercoloring techniques, and I'm like trying them out. So this is one where I'm learning about how to paint reflection.
And I'm glad you pointed that one out, because that when we were standing over here, that one kept drawing my eye because of the fireplace.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of depth and contrast in that
fireplaces.
Yeah, and some of the other flower ones, it was just a completely different technique than I had used before. Like where I divided the paper into two. This is like where I divided the paper into two parts, and I made it wet beforehand, and then I was kind of dropping the ink on top and seeing where it would go. And then after those original kind of puddles and marks were there, then I chased it around with a pencil and sort of started to draw something out of it than I had used before. Our local greenhouse.
I love this one, sound bath.
Okay, so that was from a sound bath I was at our local greenhouse in April. One of the employees there, Kathy and Teresa, got certified to play singing bowls and use tuning forks, and so they put on these amazing events where you just relax and you are bathed in sound. And so I went to one, and that was all I could feel during this sound bath, because you're surrounded by these plants, you're in the greenhouse, it's an amazing. They continue, so look those guys up as well.
So you did that after attending it?
Music, and I could just, the whole place was just vibrant. There's sound bath one. Here's another one. There's another sound bath one. Here's another one. So this was actually on the solstice, and we were outside, and you know, the tiki torches were there to chase the bugs and give ambiance, and they had the singing bowls in the middle, and we were in these chairs all around. So it was, you know, just some great, what a great way to journal the summer, to go back and be able to say, okay, it felt like it went fast, but I did a lot.
Yes. So tonight is your closing reception? And then
we're just gonna be here very simple, 4 to 7 tonight. And I will be taking the show down probably starting Saturday morning. Yeah.
And then what do you think what will you do with all the
What will I do with these?
Obviously, you just stack up the papers.
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave them all attached for now. I would love to take this show to another gallery, like maybe after the year is done.
Yeah.
And have all 365.
That'd be great.
Yeah. I think so. I'm not selling the originals out of the show. I am selling prints. And of course, you can go to my Facebook page, and any of them that you see that you would want, I could make a print of. So yeah, that's still a question in my head. I will probably be here for several hours taking it down. It took about probably 15 or 16 so far of hanging time to get the show up. So
because you've added to
because I've added,
as it's been up, which is an interesting way to have an art show. Not a lot of times our art shows so organic. You know, it's like the artist hangs it and then they walk away.
Yeah.
But you were here adding to it.
Yes, it was great. It feels like it's alive that way. It lives and it's breathes. This show is really my first installation show. So it really feels like a whole different thing, and it gave me time to come back and visit with the show, which was really fun. It's really fun to be surrounded by like all of your art in one room. Like it's you don't often get that. I would say if somebody was going to start this practice at home, even if you wanted to use like a lunch bag clipped to something, or you know, a bulletin board or whatever, like just change it out every day. You don't need the wall space, just every day. Yeah, just, change it out and put it in a folder or keep it in a little book or whatever. But do that for yourself.
And the lunch bag will remind you that this act of just producing something creative is feeding your soul.
It is.
Which is what really spoke to me in your email. I think I had gotten your email that made me say, I'm gonna see if she wants to be on my channel.
Well, I'm thrilled. It was a lot of work goes into this, a little bit at a time. But it also makes me very aware of how much time I did get to spend on my art. I think there was some book, I don't remember who wrote it or what but the gist of it was, if you spend 1,000 hours doing anything, you're a pro at it. Yeah. I don't know who or what book that was, but something like that. So I'm there, baby. Like in this year, we made it. So no, it's just really fun to have it all out in front of me. And this is fun. It gives us another thing to talk about and foster more creativity everywhere.
Thank you. Well, we won't take any more of your time. I know you want to get something set up for the reception and people coming. So thanks for being on my show. For walking around your show.
Yeah.
Marianne Olivo. I have a feeling you're going to see her again.
Keep the drinks off the glass I was like, how are people going to carry this little piece of paper around and write on it? So it's like, I know, just leave CD cases there. You can take the case around with you and write on the case. Sometimes I just trying to get that across. I think some people got it. Yeah. It look like there's more because I put it in 2 bowls.
Birthday, so then I decided to look for mine. So this is it. This is the one Marianne would have done on my birthday, called Blue Fish. I love that because the fish looks really happy.
Because of your birthday, Mama.
Because of my birthday. Market General.
Babe. Oh, that looks cool because it's the mirror.
River there is. Oh, this is neat because in Lock Haven, which is along the Susquehanna River, there is a levee, and then on part of the levee is a amphitheater, and then they put a floating stage, and then all season long, in the warm weather, they have concerts. So that's what that is. You can see the boats lined up and the people on the floating stage.
Oh, man. I love that one.
Ross Library, which is what most people call it. It's located on Main Street in Lock Haven, Pennsylvania. And today happens to be my very first time coming back to the library since 2020. I started coming to the library regularly, pretty much on a weekly basis, when my husband and I, along with our first child, moved to Lock Haven in 1998. And right away, I started thinking that I should bring my son to story time. So I would come to the library every week and I would ask, is there going to be a story time? And when I first started, they didn't have a children's librarian. She was out on maternity leave. It wasn't until my second son was born that I come to the library. And lo and behold, there's a new children's librarian. Very dear friend to me. Her name is Miss Nancy. And she just became a part of the family. So much so that, you know, when she would have her birthday celebration, and even when she had her big milestone 50th birthday, another family and I got together and we made homemade pasta, homemade spaghetti sauce, homemade bread, and got some good wine and celebrated a birthday dinner with her. She is Italian after all, so we were trying to impress her with our good Italian cooking skills. And grew up coming to story time with Miss Nancy, I'll save it for another time to go into what story time really meant to me and what Miss Nancy really means to me. But suffice it to say, in 2020, she was, re-diagnosed with a form of cancer that she had been diagnosed with in 2015 and had battled and seemingly got over. In 2020, it came back and she had to have surgery. And of course, then all of the pandemic had happened, so the library was closed anyway. So some friends and I had gone to visit her after her surgery, and I happened to have some library books. And we drove past the library afterwards, and I put them in the Dropbox, and I said, well, that's it, I'm never going back to the library. And it was because Miss Nancy. I'm going to pause here a minute because there's a mail person coming in the door. 2025, and my good friend Marianne Olivo. Who is a beautiful artist, has had an art show. In Ross Library, there is see you later, have a good day. Oh, you need help? The mail person was having trouble getting out the door. What was I going to say? Oh, so the library was actually the house that was owned by Annie Hallenbeck Ross became the library originally. And then some years later, if I had to guess, I should actually ask the librarian, we'll put it down on the screen, when this section that I'm sitting in was built and added on, because it's definitely much more modern architecture. What's my point in saying that? Oh, it's in that section that there is an art exhibit space, and so artists over the years can show their art. In fact, when my first son was in kindergarten, I remember coming here with a homeschool group, and all of the homeschool kids got to show all of their art, which was, a good memory. Marianne sent out an email where she talked about her art show, and she was talking about how she called it Feeds My Soul, and just this idea of making art a little bit every single day this year has really brought healing to her. And so I felt like I wanted to come and one, support her in what she's doing, but also hear from her and share what she's doing with you. And then in so doing, step over that barrier that I placed for myself, that block that said I'm never coming back to Ross Library again, to step over it. Because I think all different kinds of blocks we put in our way will block us in all areas of life. Even if I'm trying to be free and giving in one area, if I have this block over here, I think it can make an impact. I don't know. I'm just kind of free thinking all of this as it's coming out of my mouth. But that to say, it's interesting to be back. Miss Nancy is no longer with us. She passed from this earth onto the next in January of 2024. And my children and I miss her greatly.
It's been fabulous here at the Ross Library. Come and visit in person anytime. There's always artwork here of some persons to visit.
Oh, that's good to know. I actually didn't realize there was always art, but I was saying that I want to find out when this section of the library was built. Because this is an art gallery inside of this section of the library.
Yes.
Anyway, thanks for watching. You take care.